Today we're talking about values, and I sometimes think that when we talk about values we tend to think of that group of words sitting on a wall, and yes, they're values, but the way I like to think about it is if they're not activated, they're not really true values. And a word that hasn't been used a lot recently is virtues. It's kind of gone out of vogue, but if you think about values as virtues, those things that drive us and our personal ways of doing things, it's a lot more personal. Values can be a bit company-driven, impersonal, but virtues, if we think about our values as virtues, the way we operate, the way we choose to treat people with integrity and passion and whatever those values might be in your company, then it becomes a lot more personal. And ultimately, values are only valuable if they are true virtues and they're impacting the way that we think about and the way that we operate every day. And there's a definite link between values in a company and productivity. Often values are thought as a nice to have or just a soft set of words that we kind of have to have a set of values. But ultimately, we're in commercial organizations and we want a commercial outcome, or if you're in a not-for-profit, there's social outcomes or community outcomes that we're looking for. This productivity is kind of the holy grail of getting things done well. And at the core of that for me is values, and it's often underestimated, because if you have great values, great virtues, you create an environment where people are encouraged and they're being the best that they can be, they're engaged. And if they're engaged, they're productive. So great culture really creates an environment where people want to be a part of what's going on, and ultimately that comes out as productivity, getting the things done that you need to get done. So there's a definite link between virtues and productivity. So how do you create a set of values or a set of virtues? You might be in a company that already has a number of those articulated, and for you it's really around having the conversations. Ultimately, and we'll talk about this a little later, it's behaviours that are important. You can believe a set of values, but if they're not impacting your behaviours, they have no value to you nor the organisation. And so creating an environment where people can discuss and talk about how those values impact them as an individual it's paramount. Because if you don't translate those virtues into behaviours, then there's no real point. And they'll mean different things to different people, and they'll mean different things in different roles. So getting people together, talking about your values, convincing people that those really need to be adopted individually as virtues, and that will drive behaviours, and that will take your company to where it is that you're trying to go. So if you do have a set of values in your company, take those, discuss it with your team. What does it mean to you as an individual? What does it mean to you as a team if you really activated those values? If you don't have a set of values, or they're kind of old and dusty, then you can recreate those by having a broader conversation. There's a number of different ways you can do that, but ultimately it's a broad conversation around what does it mean to be in a great company? What does a great company look like? How would we operate if we operated in a perfect world, in a perfect environment, in a perfect company? There's never a perfect company, but having that conversation around what does best look like? What does the ideal company look like? Team, project, what does perfect look like? There's something healthy about seeing what that bar looks like and being able to work our way towards a great set of values that are activated in true behaviours and ultimately adopted as virtues by the individual.